Welcome, friends, to another exciting episode of AVGM Journey. And I'm your host, The Messenger. The track that we're playing in this week's show is Title Screen from the game F-Zero X, and that was composed by Taro, Bando, and Hajime Wakai. We've got a handful of some really cool tracks for you guys, which most of them were picked by my fiance Carly, and we also got a really cool fan request as well. So I'm thinking, hey, let's get into things. This next track is coming from the game Bakugan Battle Brawler. This is Aquos, and I couldn't find any composer info for this, so this is composed by Unknown. That track that you just listened to, that was Aquos from the game Bakugan Battle Brawler, and that was composed by Mr. or Mrs. Unknown. That was a really cool track. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I think for whatever reason, I was expecting something more in the line of rock. So I know that this game is based off of an anime, which it's one of those animes where they were trying to capture the success of Pokemon, where you gotta collect things. But to be honest, I really don't understand Bakugan. From my limited understanding of it is that you have these balls and you battle these other ones where you roll them onto these metal cards, and whatever's on the card, something happens. I know I'm not doing the best job of trying to describe this thing, but it's one of those it's totally not for me kind of things. And that my only real exposure to it was my younger brother was into them at the time. So it was just kind of more of his thing than mine. But this track was really good. I really liked that. I think we're going to move on to something a little bit different, and I think it's pretty cool. This is coming from Namco Museum Volume 1. This is View, and I believe this was composed by Kaori, Idaya, Nobuhiro, Ouchi, and Kenji Matsuo. That track that you just heard, that was View from the game Namco Museum Volume 1, and it was composed by Kaori Idaya, Nobuhiro Ouchi, and Kenji Matsuo. That was a really cool track. And the way that Carly explained it to me was that this plays when you're looking at different facts about the various Namco games and learning a little bit of history about them. And this track definitely fits with that. You get that nice, chill vibe with it. It has a very, I don't want to say nostalgic, but it definitely pulls you in and lets you kind of soak in the history of these games. And to be honest, I wouldn't even really think that there was an original piece on that game, because what I was expecting was either just straight up the soundtracks of the various Namco games, or there were remixes, which you do have that. But an original piece, though, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm actually really glad that she picked that track. I think it's time for someone else to pick a track for this show, Carly. I know that you have to share the show with some other people, but I do want to play this request from Hammock, the host of KVGM The Last Wave. And he wanted me to play this track from Dragon Ball Z, The Legacy of Goku 2. And the track is East District 439, and it was composed by Yannis Brown. That track that you just heard, that was East District 439 from the game Dragon Ball Z: The Legacy of Goku 2. It was composed by Yannis Brown, and this was requested by Hammock. So thank you, Hammock, for that request. I think just like the Bakugan track, I was going into this with an expectation of rock music, and I didn't get that at all. And what I got was a really chill track that honestly, I really liked it. And what I picture is walking through a city at night and in the rain, and you have quite a ways away to get to wherever it is that you're going to, and you're just making your way through the city. And I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it seems like quite a bit of people really like the soundtrack to this game, which is pretty surprising to me since it's a licensed game on the Game Boy Advance. My first thought would have been, okay, it's probably just shovelware, but it turns out that it's something of an underrated gem. So I remember playing another track from this game quite a while ago that I played it, and I remember that being really good too, and that was a request. So it sounded like this is something I definitely need to look into a bit more. So I just want to say once again, thank you, Hammock, for that track. I think I'm going to be really nice to Carly now and play one more track from her. And she wanted me to play this track from Hamtaro, Heartbreak. The track is Sunny Peak, and it was composed by Satoko Yokota. That track that you just listened to, that was Sunny Peak from the game Hamtaro Heartbreak, and it was composed by Satoko Yokota. I think that's going to just about do it for the show this week. If you like what you've been listening to, have your friends check out the show on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever podcatching service that you can think of. I'm more than likely going to be on there. You can email the show at vgmjourney@yahoo.com, and you could also check us out on Twitter at vgmjourney. We're going to play things out with one more track, and this one is a classic, and that is the ending theme from Shining Force 2, and that was composed by Motoaki Takenouchi. Have a good week, everyone.